Hello again, this is Stephen Dupree of NowEnergetics.com based on YUEN Method. Welcome back to my channel. This is a short video on psychic energy. Apologize for the audio because I'm on the highway today, so it's a little bit different, but we'll try to keep this short. There's a lot of kind of psychic energy that's affecting us at this time, and it's collective. It's also cumulative kind of energy that we've had over time, over many years perhaps. And what we want to do is get neutral to that psychic energy, and we don't want to have any real effect or based on previous effects or previous collective experiences or collective influences of psychic energy. And many times we have something in our energy, and we've talked about this before, where there's sort of a tuning fork, stuck in the air, and you don't need a very big tuning fork to pull in an effect from outside of you. So many of the things that bother us, both energetically and physically, have to do many times with over 90% of things that are coming from outside of us. And one of the things that comes from outside of us is a psychic energy that we can't really escape. There's 7 billion people on this planet, but you want to be neutral as much as possible and as often as possible to psychic energy, and not make sure that you're neutral enough that you don't have that tuning fork pulling in any kind of particular belief or expectation or thought or experience, because that's going to affect you in a way that you're actually resonating. We want to be neutral to resonating too, and not resonating, because we want to kind of unhook from the collective, because that's what's pulling in the psychic energy and affecting us physically, right? Mostly coming from outside of us. So just be aware of that. We can profile that, but very often, most of the time, you're going to profile is going to come up 80-90% from outside of you. So just know that. One of the checks that you do is it me or not me? And it's that's a really kind of coarse check, but when you really profile it a little deeper, you find that most of the time things are mostly from outside of you. So what you're trying to look at from an energy standpoint is not looking at your stuff, but other than the tuning fork, and being neutral enough so that you don't have that tuning fork sticking up that's pulling in the other energies. So we want to be, as much as possible and as often as possible, neutral. And neutral in a way that you're not really trying to shield anything. So people always talk about different energies and they want to shield from it. You really don't want to shield from it, because as soon as you try to block something, whatever's going to come in is going to meet that energy that you're using to block. So you're going to apply more energy, and you're going to weaken your own energy trying to put up the bigger and bigger shield, and the bigger and bigger effect is going to keep coming in. So to kind of get over the shield. So it's kind of not a good strategy. It's kind of fruitless to do that. So you want your energy to be so neutral and strong that you're not pulling that in to begin with, and that energy will go through you like a cloud or bounce off you. Or you could think of it as kind of like being so strong neutrally, you're like the sun, and what do you care about an ice cube? The ice cube's going to melt, right? So you don't worry. Get your energy so strong and neutral that you don't worry about other energies from outside of you, right? So and this psychic energy, when we get that from the collective, it often kind of confuses our whole being, and certainly our central nervous system, so that things can get out of whack, and then we don't know exactly where it's coming from. It kind of confuses our central nervous system. So this is a many-fold effect when you absorb that kind of psychic energy, whether you're an empath or you're just a normal person that is just dealing with the collective kind of fears and things that are going on in the in the world as a whole. So want to try to get, and I'll put a correction right now in for the psychic energy. And the way we usually do it is the way I like to do it is through levels of influence. Like if you're on LinkedIn, someone will say, well, I linked into this person, so I'm a first level of influence. The second level would be that person's links. So you have a first level, second level, third level, that kind of thing. So the way to clear your own psychic energy, the most influential things are certainly the people around you, the people that you know, and then the people that they know. And you know, and so on. And that's a good way to do a clearing. You may be able to go out maybe 2 levels with clearing with that. So what we'll do in this particular video is just go out 2 different levels. So let's just go out and clear all the psychic energy in the first level of influence, which is everybody we know, which could be thousands of people, and then everyone those people know, which could be into the millions of people. Once you go out to the 3rd and 4th levels, you're into billions of people. So you want to get yourself neutral and clear the energy from as far out as you can clear it, so that energy is not coming at you. You know, you want to certainly help the family and people you know. So let's just make that clearing right now and send that energy off, and make us all strong and neutral to that psychic energy from that 1st and 2nd, and let's go to a 3rd level as well of influence, and then back to the 2nd and back to the 1st, and then you can go up and down if you want and get that as strong as you can. And let's get us also neutral to resonate and not resonate, right? So we don't always want to be tied to the collective. We don't always want to be one. We want to be neutral, being one and being separate. We already did another video on that. But also that same notion is sort of the idea of resonating. So the tuning fork is all about resonating. So we want to be neutral, that we can resonate or not resonate. And you want to have all those choices in between those, right? So let's just clear that for everyone back through their timeline. And also kind of the information effect that we have these days. We're sort of inundated with information in the news and the media and the social media and all that kind of thing. You know, people always talk about it being misinformation. Well, it's really not misinformation. It's information, true or not true, right? So it's another duality that we get pulled into. But we would just want to be neutral to information in general, whether it's true or not true. That's the neutrality aspect of it, right? So let's clear ourselves for the information effect, true or not true. Get ourselves neutral to that, and also to the propaganda effect, because information has kind of a propaganda effect as well, and some people actually use that as, you know, as a way to influence people. So we want to be neutral to propaganda as well. True or not true, right? It could be true, it could be not true, it could be anything in between, right? It could be adding to the confusion that people feel, and that can create the symptom that we call stress, because we really, when someone confuses us, we really don't know what's going on. And stress to me is, you know, kind of misdefined. Stress is more not knowing what's going on energy, right? So when someone confuses us with propaganda or information or their own psychic energy, it confuses our central nervous system or physical, that's what it's really doing, right? It's creating a situation where we really don't know what's going on. So let's just clear that notion. To get neutral, it, if we know what's going on, it's fine. If we don't know what's going on, it's fine. So let's not be, oh God, I've got to know what's going on. Well, no, you don't. You want to be neutral either way. That there's some things that you don't care what's going on, right? Well, what's going on in my car right now? Well, I don't care how the engine, you know. So you want to be neutral to these things too. All these aspects that create the kind of confusion, either mentally or physically in our central nervous system. We want to have as much neutrality in both the physical and non-physical as possible. The physical to not have symptoms, and the non-physical to not have elements of kind of emotional or other problems that are caused by these imbalances and the confusion, right? So let's just get neutral to all those things. Let's say if you're confused, it's fine, and if you're not confused, it's fine, right? So there's another one to get neutral to. If you're confused for 1 second, so what, right? You're learning something, right? Someone once said that if you're confused, you're learning. If you're not, you're assuming. So let's be confused all you want, right? You want to be totally strong and neutral to that. Some people are very strong to that. They're happy to be confused about things. So you want to get those people neutral, and the people that aren't, you want to get them neutral to the other extreme. So that's kind of all I have for today, but you know, be just aware that this psychic energy is 24/7, so it's not a once and done thing. You want to keep working on that kind of clearing, especially to the levels of influence as I outlined. There's probably other ways to do it. It's just the way I choose to do it. and just keep your energy strong. Pull in as many tuning forks. Get neutral. The whole point of getting neutral is you're pulling in all these tuning forks, so you're not projecting out any non-neutral energy. And by not having that tuning fork up, you're not attracting very often a massive effect just by having that little tiny tuning fork, whether it be a fear, a belief, an experience, a thought. Those are all kind of tuning forks that pull in energy from the collective. So as much as possible, you want to identify those things with strong and weak, and you want to neutralize them such that you're pulling those tuning forks out of the air and out of pulling in any kind of psychic energy or collective influence or cumulative effect type of thing. So thank you for watching. I hope this was informative, and we'll see you in the next video.